My name is Sarah Miller, and I am 19 years old. 3 months ago, I died for 7 minutes. That's what the doctors told me when I finally woke up after being in a coma for 17 days. They called it a miracle that I survived the car crash that should have taken my life. The impact had been so severe that the paramedics thought they'd lost me at the scene. They have no idea how right they were, and how wrong. I remember the crash in flashes, headlights coming toward me, the screeching of tires, my hands gripping the steering wheel, and then darkness. The doctors said I shouldn't remember anything from my coma, but I remember everything, every single second of those 17 days, where I went, who I saw, and the message I was given to bring back. Before I continue, please let me know where you're listening from. It would be nice to feel closer, even if we're physically apart. Also, don't forget to like. It will help this video to reach so many people who need to listen to this testimony, and leave a comment, share your thoughts about this near-death experience testimony. Let's have a fair and open discussion so we can learn from each other here on this channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more of this content coming your way. Enjoy listening. The first thing I noticed after the crash was the silence. One moment there was chaos, breaking glass, crunching metal, and my own scream, and the next, perfect quiet. I thought I was dead. I guess I was, in a way. I found myself standing on a path made of something that looked like glass but felt warm under my bare feet. I don't know when I lost my shoes. The path stretched ahead of me, glowing with a soft white light. Around me was a gentle mist that seemed to shimmer with colors I couldn't even name. "Hello?" I called out. My voice sounded different, clearer, stronger. That's when I realized I felt no pain. Before the crash, I had been nursing a sprained wrist from volleyball practice. Now I felt perfect. Better than perfect. I felt light, like I could run forever and never get tired. I took a few steps forward on the path, and the mist began to part. That's when I saw him. I knew immediately who he was, though he looked nothing like the pictures in the children's Bible my grandmother had given me years ago. He wasn't a pale man with long brown hair and a beard. He was light, brilliant, beautiful light in the shape of a person. Yet somehow I could look at him without hurting my eyes. His face was kind and familiar, like someone I'd known all my life, but had somehow forgotten. "Sarah," he said, and my name in his voice felt like coming home. "Jesus," I whispered, though I already knew. He smiled, and it was like the sun breaking through clouds. "Am I dead?" I asked. "No, child," he said. "Not yet. Your body is healing, but I've brought your spirit here for a purpose." He reached out his hand to me, and without hesitation I took it. His touch was warm, like holding your hands close to a fire on a cold day. "Come," he said. "I want to show you something." The path beneath us changed, and suddenly we were moving, not walking exactly, but gliding forward. The mist cleared completely, and what I saw took my breath away. We were approaching a city, but not like any city I'd ever seen. It seemed to be made of crystal and precious stones, with buildings that soared impossibly high. The colors were so vivid that they made the brightest day on earth look dim in comparison. Rivers flowed between the buildings, their waters so clear they looked like liquid diamond. Trees with silver gold leaves lined the streets, and their fruits glowed with inner light. But what struck me most were the people, thousands of them, maybe millions, all radiant with joy. They walked, talked, sang, embraced, and each one shone with light, some brighter than others, but all beautiful. I could feel their happiness like a physical force, washing over me in waves. This is just one small corner of heaven. Jesus, one of many places I've prepared for those who love me. I watched as a group of children ran past, laughing. They were playing a game I didn't recognize, but their delight was so pure it made me smile. These are the ones who accepted my gift. Jesus continued. They chose to believe in me, to trust me with their lives and their eternities. As we moved through the city, I noticed that despite the vast number of people, there was no crowding, no hurry. Everyone seemed to have purpose but not pressure. The noise of countless voices and activities blended into a beautiful harmony, rather than a chaotic roar. "It's so peaceful," I said. "This is what I created humans for," Jesus replied. "Perfect communion with me and with each other. No fear, no pain, no division. We passed gardens where flowers bloomed in patterns that told stories, libraries with books whose words moved on the page, and great halls where music played that made my spirit soar. Each person here continues to grow, to create, to learn. Jesus explained, heaven isn't an ending, it's the true beginning. As we turned a corner, I saw a familiar face in the crowd, and my heart leaped. Emma? I gasped. Emma Davis had been my best friend in middle school. We'd done everything together until her leukemia diagnosis at 14. She had fought so bravely, but the cancer won just before our freshman year of high school. I had been devastated, angry at God for taking her. But here she was, not thin and pale as she'd been at the end, but vibrant and glowing with health. She looked up, saw me, and her face lit up with joy. You know her, Jesus said, smiling. Would you like to speak with her? Before I could answer, we were standing right in front of Emma. She launched herself at me, hugging me tightly. Sarah, oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. She pulled back, looking me over. But wait, you're still... She looked questioningly at Jesus. She's visiting, he explained gently. Her time hasn't come yet. Emma's face showed brief disappointment, then brightened again. Well, I'm so glad you get to see this place. Isn't it amazing? I nodded, fighting back tears of joy. You look so good, Em. So happy. I am happy, she said, squeezing my hands. More than I could ever explain. The pain is gone. All of it. The physical pain, but also the fear, the sadness, everything. And I've learned so much here. I'm helping welcome the children who arrive. And I'm learning to sing, really sing. Can you believe it? Remember how terrible I was in choir? We both laughed, remembering her hopeless audition for the school musical. But what about you? She asked. How is everyone? How's your mom? I told her about the past 5 years, how much we'd all missed her, how her parents had started a foundation in her name that raised money for childhood cancer research, how I decided to study nursing because of her. That's wonderful, she said, her eyes shining. Tell them I'm okay, better than okay. Tell them I'm waiting for them, but they shouldn't rush. There's time. I will, I promised. We talked for what seemed like hours and minutes at the same time. Time felt different here. I didn't want to leave her. I wanted to stay in this beautiful place with my friend, with Jesus, with all these joyful people. I don't want to go back, I admitted finally, looking at Jesus. Can't I stay here with Emma? His eyes were kind but firm. Not yet, Sarah. You have more to do, more lives to touch. I felt tears forming, but it's so perfect here, and it will be waiting for you, he assured me. But first, there's something else you need to see. I hugged Emma goodbye, promising to remember everything. I love you, she said, and I'll see you again. Just not too soon, okay? Jesus took my hand again, and the scene changed. The beautiful city faded, and the light dimmed. The air grew thick and hard to breathe. The path beneath us darkened, becoming rough and broken. Where are we going? I asked, suddenly afraid. To see the other choice, Jesus replied, his voice heavy with sorrow. The mist around us turned gray, then black, swirling like smoke. A terrible smell filled my nostrils, like burning plastic and rotting things. I could hear sounds in the distance, wails and screams that made me want to cover my ears. This is hell, Jesus said quietly. Not as humans often imagine it, with cartoon devils and pitchforks. This is the reality of separation from me, from light, from love, from hope. As the smoke cleared, I saw a vast, barren landscape. The ground was cracked and black, and what looked like rivers of fire flowed through the deep fissures. But worst of all were the people. Unlike the bright souls in heaven, these figures were dim, almost transparent in places, as if they were fading away. They wandered aimlessly, some alone, others in groups, but all with the same expression of emptiness and despair. Some cried out, others were silent, but all seemed consumed by a suffering that went beyond physical pain. These are those who rejected me, Jesus said, who chose to be their own gods, to live by their own truth, to find fulfillment without me. But this is terrible, I whispered. How could anyone choose this? They didn't choose this directly, he explained. They chose themselves over me. They chose temporary pleasures over eternal joy. They heard my invitation, but turned away, again and again, until their hearts were too hard to hear at all. As we moved through this dreadful place, I saw people from all walks of life, rich and poor, young and old, from every nation and time. Some I recognized from history books or news stories. Then I saw someone that made my blood run cold. My calculus teacher, Miss Wilson, who had died of a heart attack just last semester. He had been brilliant but harsh, openly mocking students who mentioned their faith. I had been too intimidated to ever talk to him about Jesus. He knew about you, I said, my voice shaking. He just didn't believe. Knowledge isn't faith. Jesus replied gently. Many know about me but don't know me. They don't let me know them. I watched as Mr. Wilson paced in a small circle, muttering equations to himself, completely alone. He looked up once, his eyes vacant, not seeing us. Can't he leave? Can't any of them leave? The choice is made during life, Jesus said. That's why your return is so important. We moved away from that terrible place, back through the mist, until we stood again on the glowing path. I was trembling, the images of hell still vivid in my mind. I've shown you both destinations, Jesus said. Heaven and hell, joy and despair, communion and isolation. Now I must send you back with this message. He placed his hands on my shoulders, and his eyes seemed to look straight into my soul. Tell them I love them, every single person. Tell them I died to pay for their sins, to bridge the gap between their brokenness and my perfection. Tell them salvation is a gift. They need only accept it. They don't have to earn it. They couldn't if they tried. Tell them to seek me while I may be found. The time is shorter than they know. His hands began to glow, and warmth spread through my body. Will they believe me? I asked. Some will, he said. Some won't, but you must tell them anyway. Be my witness, Sarah. Be my voice. I'm afraid, I admitted. What if I forget what I've seen? What if I can't find the right words? You won't forget, he promised, and I'll give you the words when you need them. I'll be with you always. The light around him grew brighter, enveloping me. It's time to go back now, he said. Your body is ready. Will I see you again? I asked. Sooner than you think, he smiled. I am never far from you. The light became blinding, and I felt myself falling backward, away from him, away from the path. I wanted to reach out to stay with him, but I couldn't move. Remember, his voice came from everywhere and nowhere. Tell them about me. Tell them I'm waiting. The beeping of hospital machines was the first thing I heard. The antiseptic smell, the first thing I smelled. The pain, oh the pain, was the first thing I felt. Opening my eyes took tremendous effort, like lifting weights with my eyelid. When I finally managed it, I saw my mother's face, tear-stained and hopeful, leaning over me. She's awake, she cried out. Doctor, she's awake. The room erupted in activity. Doctors checked my vitals. Nurses adjusted my IV. My father kissed my forehead, sobbing with relief. They all talked at once, telling me how long I'd been unconscious, how worried they'd been, how the other driver had been texting and crossed the center line, how lucky I was to be alive. Lucky. If only they knew. I tried to speak, but my throat was too dry from the breathing tube they'd just removed. My mother spooned ice chips into my mouth, the cold water bringing relief. Jesus, I finally managed to whisper. My mother, a church-going but not particularly devout woman, patted my hand. Yes, honey, he was watching over you. No, I insisted, my voice stronger. I saw him. I was with him. The doctor exchanged a look with my father that I recognized. Concern about brain damage, confusion, hallucination. I'm not confused, I said. I know what happened. I know where I went. Over the next days of my recovery, I told them everything. The path of light, the beautiful city, Emma, the terrible place of separation. I told them about Jesus' message, his love, his invitation. The neurologist said that vivid dreams during coma were not uncommon, that the brain creates narratives to make sense of trauma. My parents listened politely, but worriedly. But then I told my mother things about Emma that I couldn't have known about, a special song Emma's mother sang to her in private during her final days, about a letter Emma had written that her parents had found after her death, but never shared the contents. I described details of heaven that matched obscure Bible passages I had never read. Slowly, my parents began to wonder, then to question, then to listen, really listen. 3 months have passed since I woke up. My body is still healing. 2 broken legs, a punctured lung, and a concussion have left their marks. But every day, I grow stronger. I speak to anyone who will listen about what I saw, what I learned. Some roll their eyes. Some listen out of politeness. Some seem hungry for every word. Last week I shared my story at a youth group meeting. Afterward, 5 teenagers approached me, tears in their eyes, wanting to know more about the Jesus I had met. Not the Jesus of rigid rules and stuffy tradition, but the Jesus of light and love and second chance. I know not everyone believes me. I know some think I'm seeking attention or suffering from brain trauma. That's okay. I don't need everyone to believe my experience. I just need them to believe in Him. But more importantly, I came back with a message that can save lives, not just for now but forever. He loves you. He's waiting for you. And the time is shorter than you know. Thank you for listening to my story. If you have been inspired, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for more of this testimonies coming your way, and please don't forget to share this amazing testimony to your friends. As you do so, may God bless you.